we're doing here today, I think I counted pretty well every day you're on the track doing something.
Yeah, pretty much until we fly out on the 16th of Jan. I think nearly every day we've got track availability, which is good. There's been a pantomime here throughout December that's got in the way a little bit, we'll say. So yeah, to now get a good solid block in, 2 weeks just hitting the track up every day is going to be good. Yeah.
And your next major goal is Belarus. How big after the win at Switzerland, how big a goal is that now?
There's sort of two goals, I guess, left to tick off. We want to win a World Cup, and that's our last opportunity to. And we want to ride a really quick time, like we're talking like 3:55 or faster. So if the conditions are right, I think we've definitely got that in our legs time-wise. And if we ride that time, then there's every reason to think we can win. So yeah, it's a big goal, and obviously roll straight into nationals straight after. So hopefully the form's good at both.
What's interesting today, just seeing you guys train doing 14.8 laps. And you've got a member of the bronze medal, I think it was, in 2000, Brian Still.
Yeah.
Standing here watching you. Old school, new school.
Cool. Yeah, it's there's a lot of old school guys knocking about, and I guess we're doing it a little bit differently. But it's nice to talk to them, pick their brains a little bit, and see how things used to be done. Because at the end of the day, people have often tried things before, so it's worth picking their brains and seeing why and how they did it then.
Now, the last time I spoke, there was a lot of laughter in the background when I mentioned Harry Tanfield's name, and lo and behold, Harry Tanfield's in the lineup.
I guess that one's been on the back burner a little while, and after Johnny broke his collarbone post-Manchester World Cup, it was, I guess, inevitable that we had to pull him in and see. So, I mean, luckily Johnny's healed pretty damn quick. He's still having a few little issues with it, but he can ride a bike, and that's the main thing. And his form's really good. If anything, he's in better form than he was back at Manchester. So it's impressive to see that he's come back quick. But yeah, Harry's slipped straight into the squad, and he's done some damn quick IP times. Well, he beat me at Switzerland, and I mean, a 4:19 for his second IP in about 4 years or something is pretty scary, in all honesty. So yeah, I think he's going to be one to watch at nationals, and he's getting quicker each week, learning how to ride the track better. And the big one for him is spinning the gear up. He's always struggled. He's a roadie, so when you tell him to go around at 120 RPM, it's a bit of hard work for him. But yeah, he's formidable, that's for sure.
Special word on Johnny. I don't know of anyone. I've known so many roadies who break collarbones and 6 weeks on the turbo and then gently edging back into the road. This guy, 2 weeks after he breaks it, he's in Switzerland pulling a 62-inch chainring off the start line.
Yeah, yeah, he's...
That's special. That's hard.
Yeah, he's different, that's for sure. We'll call him that. No, at the end of the day for him, it was... either does it or that's it, because we've got one chance really as KHF this winter. I mean, hopefully the team does run through to next year, but with Commonwealth Games for Johnny, that's his target, so he's got to nail this winter. And yeah, it was a bit of a blip on the way, but he's done everything right. He was straight in the hospital, he's got it plated, he's with Derbyshire Institute, they've helped a great deal with his recovery. So he had full mobility within about a week, so that's pretty cool. So everything else is just keeping his legs ticking over on the turbo and in the gym, and lo and behold, got on the track, and yeah, he's going well.
On to yourself and on to the 8 titles in 2017. We're now in 2018. How can you top that?
Yeah, it's been a bit scary actually, because I was thinking back to nationals and how, like, I guess in some ways I was a little bit lucky to pick those 3 up, but now the pressure's on. So you've got Charlie who's riding 413s, 414s week in, week out. You've got Johnny riding 101s, and I'm hearing that GB are putting a lot of kilo guys in. So it's not going to be an easy ride there to even try and defend those 3 titles. So that in itself is a lot of pressure, and then obviously the road season to come. But I think on the time trial front, I'm quite excited for that, and we've got a good time trial team coming in with John Archibald joining the squad and a few other guys. So yeah, that's going to be really cool. And Ribble are throwing a lot of time and effort and money behind the time trial bike to make sure that we get on a fast bike, and there's no excuses on that front, which is cool to see, and it makes me quite happy actually that people are backing what we're doing and believing in it, which is cool. So yeah, there's a lot of pressure to perform, but the big one for me, I guess, is the British National TT Champs. I guess I wouldn't say I wimped out. I was a bit stupid really when not racing this year, or last year even, going to Isle of Man. I'd looked at the course and thought it's not for me, and at the time I wasn't actually time trialling that much. I only got a TT bike about 4 or 5 weeks before the race itself, and obviously the entry deadline's 3 or 4, so I was kind of sod it, no need to, and yeah, it came back to bite me in the arse. So I won't make that same mistake again, and I'm definitely going full bore for that as well.
What is your favourite discipline? Because I don't think you've got I've seen you race the road, but I think time trialling is probably
my stronger suit. Yeah, I would go for that. I think against the clock, it's easy to motivate myself to push hard, definitely. And it probably suits my background, the engineering, the aerodynamics, and just working on everything to improve that. So I think time trialing, anything against the clock, whether it is a kilo, whether it is a 50-mile TT, it's what I enjoy, and there's no one else to blame. It's just you against the clock, and that's all you've got to do.
Now, you're known for your aero expertise.
Mm-hmm.
For the layman out there, what are the key things about being aero? Is it the flat back, the head down, or?
There's lots of things to it, really, and it's unique to different people. So, like, you look at our positions and people see, oh yeah, you've got high hands or whatever it might be, and there's loads of rumours going about how much that's worth, and it's like, oh, there's 40 watts in this or 40 watts. It's like, yeah, it's not. There's a lot of fine tweaking between riders to get them comfortable in the position and what you're trying to do. So, yeah, for example, a low head is a good thing, and like we talked about earlier, that nowadays with like the Aerohead helmet, it looks like people aren't even looking where they're going, but in actual fact, you have good forward vision with helmets like that. But it's a combination of multiple things, and it's not just a silver bullet of you change arm pads or extensions or helmets or whatever and then suddenly you're going to go really quick. It is looking at every little bit, whether it is your pedals, your tyres, your drivetrain, even your front chainring that everyone seems to talk about quite a bit, and the material even it's made from. There's lots of stuff, and it is just chipping away, and I hate the term marginal gains, but to a certain extent it does describe it quite well, that you've got to look at every single bit in a great amount of detail to really improve it.
And it's all equal to watts, which is what you're about.
Yeah.
So when did your quest to save watts start? When did you learn about aeronautics?
So, well, I went to university and studied motorsport engineering, did an undergrad and masters at Oxford Brookes, and my placement was with Mercedes F1 team. So I was in the aero department there, and that's when I really got involved and really heavily interested in the aerodynamic side, but equally discovered that I didn't want to work in Formula One for the silly amount of hours and night shifts and everything else. Just didn't suit the lifestyle I wanted. And while I was there, I met Simon Smart, who obviously runs Drag to Zero, and he sort of sparked the interest in that. I was quite lucky going back from my master's year that my aerodynamics lecturer, he used to be a GB cyclocross rider, who was quite keen to let me twist motorsport projects into cycle sport. And that's just led on. So I've worked in British Olympic teams, I've worked back at Drag to Zero, and then obviously started Watch Shop Up, and throughout the past, I guess it's nearly 3 years now since I graduated, it's sort of progressed and done a lot of my own research and my own development on just trying to make myself go quicker, really. And the more you read, the more you study, and the more you practice, the more you figure out ways to go quicker. So it's
$64,000 question: where did you save the most watts?
It's a good one, that.
Because there is so many things, aren't there?
Yeah, I can't really pinpoint one major thing, really. I mean, there's been lots of like really good gains. So like switching to the Velotech suit, that found quite a bit for me originally. So I mean, you compare 2016 to 2017. In the end of 2016 season, I was down in, I think it was 21st, 22nd at the National 10. I mean, didn't have a great ride, but nonetheless, like. You look at my 2016 position, 17, there's not a great deal of difference, but like the skin suit, I found quite a bit there, and in the socks as well, that was a good gain. It's looking like sort of 6-7 watts in the socks at the sort of speed we're travelling here. Position, I did move a lot. It was a lot of little things actually. It was sort of 10-20 mil here, there and everywhere, and sort of saddle height was one for me that I found a good amount in, but I can't really say there was one silver bullet.
Suddenly find 50 points.
Yeah.
50 watts, sorry.
No, it's chipping away at little things here, there and everywhere.
You mentioned socks. Now, these socks are like halfway up your calf.
Yeah.
In time trialling, everyone's looking at the knee-length socks. Mm-hmm. What is that? What is going on with that?
It's not stylish, let's be honest, but it's quick at the end of the day. So
it is aerodynamic.
Yeah. Effectively, your calf is a cylinder, let's call it, and cylinders aren't very aerodynamic. And with laminar airflows, you typically get over your leg, you get a lot of separation. You get what's called induced or formed drag on the back of your leg. So if you can create turbulent airflow, you can resist that separation, slightly reduce the drag on your leg. It's quite noticeable. So yeah, you are talking sort of in the range of 5 to 10 watts, depending on your leg shape and your size and the speed you're travelling at. So yeah, it's big gains, and you'll be still able to take it.
And your aero expertise and your visits to World Cups, you've got people already buying stuff from other nations and looking to get aero.
Yeah, we've had the Danish team, we've had a lot of the foreign teams coming in. Canadians, I think, have been looking at us and copying our techniques a little bit. yeah, I've had a lot of the sort of performance directors and sports directors coming over and eyeing up our bikes and our wheels, and I think the sponsors have been loving it really for what's been happening. And you look around Derby now, and the amount of people riding the kit that we're riding is, I guess, we're a sponsor's dream really for that.
Now you won 8 national championships, 3 on the road. 3 on the track, 5 on the road. What's been the highlight for you, or is it not even a championship of last year?
It's a good one really. I haven't really sat and thought too much about the road season. I mean, I quite liked that weekend where I won the circuit champs, purely because it was such a damn hard ride, because I was coming off the back of Home Valley, which is the reason I got a time trial bike that year. I had a 10-mile TT in, and as much as it was annoying to get second with Charlie riding off on that final stage, but I had nothing in the legs. And I can't remember who it was, someone came up to me in the break going, "Are you just going to let Charlie ride off and take GC?" And I was thinking, well, I'm lucky to be hanging in the break here. Yeah. So that was an enjoyable weekend, and to just about clinch that. I quite like the National 10 because it was, I guess, the final one to seal 8, and there was a lot of pressure to perform there, and I don't think the course was particularly in my favour. So yeah, to pull that out the bag and put a solid ride in there was quite enjoyable, and I think just topped off the season really. Yeah.
Finally, today we've got some new guys. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a KTF B team.
Yes.
Internationals.
Yeah.
Cy Wilson, we've got a junior from the GB Academy, Ethan, here today.
Yeah.
Just expanding, it's growing.
Exactly that. Well, I guess we're bringing Harry in, and obviously Johnny coming back. We had an extra rider in, and thinking, well, I don't think we have to worry about having reserve guys at nationals. I hope not, touch wood. But so we thought, well, we've got a good few trackies in the road squad with Ethan and Cy and John Archibald. So we thought, yeah, let's go for a B team, and everyone's got all the contracts signed up. And we got this is our first session with those guys down in a couple of days on Friday. We've got the whole team, so we're going to be team pursuing against each other, and just trying it out and seeing what we can do. And we've got another 3 or 4 weeks before nationals, so it's all we had last year, and we managed to do all right there. So if we can pull it all together, I think they could do a really good ride.
And the nationals last year, just give us an inkling as to what's that, your first nationals, or was it like the first big nationals? First big nationals.
I did nationals the year before, just as a bit of a let's have a go. I did the IP, and that was it. Just turned up, and I think I finished 7th, which is alright. Did a 4:33, but you kind of have that feeling of I didn't give it my all, and there was a lot of performance left on the table as it was. So yeah, last winter it was we're going full gas for this, no messing. I trained pretty solidly for about 3 months for that. So yeah, I went hard, and the team pursuit was quite a last minute, I guess, an afterthought. We only had 4 weeks of training here as a squad, so it was a bit rushed, and it all came together on the day, which is what matters. But at the same time, it was a what-if scenario of if we could do this properly, all live together, train together, proper kit, how far can we take it, which is obviously where we've ended up now.
So you're expecting to go faster this year?
I hope so, yeah. It'd be nice to go sub 4, and I think we've easily got that in our legs on the day if the conditions are all good. So yeah, we won't hang about, I don't think.